sunshine, everybody. Happy sunshine. I'm going to tap in, give a collective message. I want to connect to the ancestors, indigenous ancestors specifically. And I also welcome any wisdom from the collective ancestors. I hold space for the ancestors today, and I hold space for anybody who is shifting timelines and shifting into your new reality. I'm just here. I'm here. I want to give this message. I want to honor as I work on unlearning, certain things. I want to incorporate newer traditions, around holiday times. And so I still, kind of connect and gather with my family and everything. My mom loves, the holidays and just love when family get together. So I honor that, with my family and with her. But I also want to take some time out to honor and focus on the forgotten, which is our native, ancestors. A lot of, indigenous African Americans or black, people, however you identify with, a lot of people don't even realize that indigenous native blood is within us. They don't teach us that. They don't give us that knowledge at all. And so I just want to kind of tap in, see if there's any wisdom or anything. See if there's any wisdom. Sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna tap in. 353. I just saw 353 on the timer. 353.44. And you can speed this up if you want to, or skip over this part. I'm just lighting my Palo Santo. Which I probably really don't even need to. I've been cleansing this morning and getting myself together. I want to use my deck. I haven't even really, I didn't even use this deck yet. I've been really connecting with it, but I got a new deck that I'm just so excited to use. I'm so excited to use it. For anybody that may need this, things. At this moment, if you are watching this, just stop and take a deep breath. At this moment, if you are watching this, just stop and take a deep breath. Be in gratitude, be in love. Welcome wisdom. Welcome truth. I'm hearing welcome a bountiful harvest. Okay, welcome. I heard welcome a bountiful harvest. Plentiful harvest is what I'm hearing. Welcome that. Welcome that into your atmosphere. Call that into your atmosphere while I shuffle, while I do this reading. Visualize visualize what your harvest can and will look like. Specifically, I heard visualize what your harvest can and will look like. And I just see a squirrel that just came on my balcony. Welcome in and call in a bountiful harvest. Welcome. Welcome and call in a bountiful harvest. I got the World card with the Six of Wands here. This is like your bountiful harvest here. And then I got the Six of Cups as well, but I'm going to keep shuffling. Giving thanks, angels, ancestors, and the spirit team. I know I've called you in already. I know you're here with me. But I do ask that you continue to sit on the four corners of me as I give this reading, as I show up for you, for the collective. I am a willing vessel for the Most High God. I am a willing vessel for Christ's consciousness, for my benevolent ancestors, for those that are guiding me and protecting me. I am a willing vessel for the ancient indigenous natives. But I call only one, or let's do two. I call only two representatives of the indigenous natives. Only two representatives. I call you forth. One masculine, one feminine. Only balance. I hold space for you. Any messages of wisdom, truth, any messages you like for me to expound on. Giving thanks, Most High God. I give thanks for allowing me to give me authority to be a vessel. Let this message be clear. Let this message be concise. I have the Three of Wands, the Death card, and at the bottom of the deck I have the Ace of Wands. Three of Wands. Death. Although this is not the Four of Wands, with this Ace of Wands here, it's giving me four. I'm hearing something to stand on, something solid to stand on, something firm to stand on. I'm not even, and then I looked at this card, this Three of Wands, and I'm looking at the images within the card. Where's my little pointer at? My daughter keep taking stuff off my desk. I don't know what my little pointer is. I'm not even gonna lie. When I picked up this card, I literally looked at these boats in the back. And I heard settlers. Settlers. So, what I'm picking up on, so the natives, the indigenous, those that were already here. It's like this genuine feeling that I get, and it's like they really didn't see this coming. They really didn't see they didn't see this coming. Like they didn't realize. These are bits and pieces, forgive me, because I'm hearing like there's this huge landmass. There's this huge landmass. It's like, because I'm trying to simplify this. I'm not trying to go too deep. I'm trying to just simplify this. And like, so those that came over and tried to settle in native land, it's like they were just at awe of the landmass. They were like this huge landmass that they saw, and the natives, you know, saw them coming to inhabit the land and explore the land, but they didn't expect, like what I'm getting at, like what I'm picking up on is this death card here. It's like they didn't expect this transition, this welcoming, you know, because they didn't expect this welcoming. Look at this. The Fool card is here. It's like they didn't expect, you know, what they received from the colonizers. Let's just simplify it like that. I you know, I'm not here to offend any sides. I'm just calling it how I see it. Like they didn't expect the colonizers to take over and inhabit the land and cause death, cause destruction. They didn't realize that the colonizer energy, the opposing energy, let me put it like that, the opposing energy, because although they were colonizers, you know, I have various people to tap into me, so I'm simplifying this. Not sugarcoating it, I'm simplifying this. The opposing energy, the colonizer energy, they were planting seeds. They were planting seeds or sowing seeds on land that was already accounted for. And so the natives, they didn't see death coming. There's something else here. Give me, because I'm and this is how reading sometimes will start in the beginning. So this six of swords want to be here. Or trying to find land to sow their seeds. Trying to find land to sow their seeds. Native says some of us, all of us weren't welcoming. All of us weren't welcoming. All of us weren't welcoming. Yeah. All of us wasn't welcoming with this Lovers in reverse. All of us was not welcoming. All of us realized kind of realized and saw that they were being, that a takeover or crusade will take place, and for that everyone wasn't welcoming. Various tribes is what I'm hearing right now. Various tribes. There are various tribes, and all of us wasn't welcoming. Literally. This is the Chariot card, but look at it. It looks like he's going to war. There were some that were more physical war, and then there were some natives who worked their magic as well. They were in their magician energy. There's an energy of some that were like more welcoming, not realizing that destruction, a transition, death was upon them, that their family would be ripped apart. You know, they didn't realize this energy coming. But then some of them wasn't all love and light. Some of them were literally warriors. Warriors. The Six of Wands is, we're not going by book meaning right now. This is symbolism for me. So these are the same energies. And this is, sometimes my messages will start off a little slow as I pick things up, but things start to make sense more and more for me. There's something with this energy too. I'll go back to that if it comes. But yeah, so like I said, like I pointed out these boats back here. Can you see them? I pointed out these boats back here before, and this is the same, like, this is like a close-up image of, you know, family, so to speak, you know, coming to inhabit the land and take over the land, and, you know, cause destruction, and just try to plant seed on soil that was already claimed. And then once again, there's an energy, you know, that's like, no, we weren't all, you know, friendly or all welcoming. We tapped into various magic. We, you know, we fought, you know, for our land. We fought for what's ours. And, you know, naturally there's balance, you know, in harmony, but how they came when it came to defending their land, defending their territory and their family, they was not all love and light. Because this came out in the reverse, and I'm reading it in the reverse. I'm feeling it in the reverse. Like, it wasn't all, yeah, okay. Look, look. The world, look. The world card. For me, this is symbolizing, although this is the world, and although we're talking about a certain landmass, which is the United States, you know, indigenous land, this is just showing me like this is the land, the world. I also got at the bottom of the deck, that's symbolizing, you know, earth, land, a landmass right now is the Queen of Pentacles here. The Queen of Pentacles is here. Earlier in shuffling the deck, I saw the King of Pentacles that stood out, and now they're giving me the Queen of Pentacles. This is earth energy. You know, this is earth energy. We got the World card here, but it's narrowing down to a certain part of the earth, of the world, you know, the indigenous world. And I'm also so while I was in meditation, Spirit showed me the world, like the earth. Spirit showed me the earth. And then Spirit showed me a brain. And Spirit reminded me, or showed me how the various continents at one point were connected. And it showed me how they were connected. And so right now I'm getting like this landmass, like a landmass, like, okay, what are you saying, Spirit? And then like there is some separation. There was a separation, and so there was a separation, and then there was a split. And you know how there's a right brain and a left brain, and that there's this split, and then I'm hearing like a split in consciousness. Okay, y'all, I'm channeling. Everything is not gonna make sense, so forgive me if you're new to tarot, if you don't fully understand tarot, if you're just watching it because you see my face on here and you don't understand. I'm just channeling bits and pieces. Bits and pieces. Phoenix Rising. I don't even know why I started shuffling this, but I got Phoenix Rising. Because I didn't mean to shuffle that. I didn't mean to pull out cards from there. Okay, what happened? I can't get it. Persecution and acquisition. Wisdom. Ask for wisdom. Why am I shuffling these? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I give thanks. It's this involuntary movement. I need to go back to this deck. Because I picked this up and I put this down. I picked these decks up involuntarily. I looked over and it just picked these decks up. Okay. And then I shuffled this one. Because I thought I picked them up thinking that, okay, I'm going to shuffle these and get into these after the tarot. But I'll get back to the tarot. Phoenix rising has some significance. Okay, they're rising. They're rising. Okay. Yeah, okay, and then my other deck here, wisdom came out. And one thing I will always do, I will always call forth the energy of wisdom. I will always do that. I will always do that. I got wisdom here, and then I got Native American. At the bottom of the deck, I got farm. Symbolizing the landmass. There's something here with the landmass. Karmic relationship. Male and female. Look, karmic relationship, male and female. And now I'm not talking about an actual relationship. Like my vessel is not used to speak on anybody's relationship or anything. This is symbolism. This is symbolism right now. Orphan. Phobias and orphans. Phobias and orphans. Okay. Phobias and orphans. Unrequited love. Ships. I'm going to keep out what was actually Spirit. All right, I give thanks of Spirit. Indigenous natives made themselves clear, more clear for those that didn't understand the tarot. For those that didn't understand the tarot, I saw how native energy was making themselves clear, just kind of going back and showing briefly their story of, you know, their landmass being, you know, taken over, just briefly, and how you had some that were more welcoming and some that wasn't. Some, you know, put up a fight. And so for those that didn't understand the tarot, this is just visual energy of natives. They're in the building, they're in the midst. Phoenix rising, they're rising. Some of us that are, you know, there are people that are well versed in, you know, native culture and, you know, engulf in it and actually practice it. Me, on the other hand, I don't practice it. I'm still, you know, trying to manifest more knowledge in regards to my lineage. And I've gotten breadcrumbs and things, you know, along the way, but I'm still, you know, trying to call that energy into me. But one thing is for certain, and one thing is for sure, is that Native American energy runs through my blood, and they speak through me, you know, spiritually. So I use myself as a willing vessel to you know, give these messages, and they're showing themselves here because I called forth native energy. I called forth wisdom, specific wisdom, and they're showing in regards to what I was saying about the landmass, you know, and this world card here along with the earth energy here. This farm energy is giving me more of that landmass energy. Self-sabotage. Okay, self-sabotage. It came back out. Self-sabotage. Some of it, you know, they're owning up. Some of this is actual shadow work. Victim consciousness is right here too. Some of this is shadow work, you know, for the natives, for those that, you know, was a bit gullible, you know, kind of used didn't really balance out the heart and the mind and the spirit, you know what I mean. They were just like, you know, kind of more welcoming, and it was kind of, you know, they did themselves a disservice, you know, when it comes to, you know, opening up their land for those that didn't have the same heart as they did. As we got self-sabotage here, you see them, same energy, right? Same energy. Same energy. Same energy. Temptations. I heard some of them say, I just heard, if we could do it over, we would. In a sense, I'm also picking up that we can do it over. You can do it over. They're rising. Some of those that perform Reiki, you know, and you perform, you know, Reiki on the land. If you perform, you know, ceremonies, you know, land ceremonies for, you know, for the earth, you know, like utilize this energy, utilize this native energy right now, you know, that it's Thanksgiving. It's utilize this energy to go out onto the land and do some workings on the land, perform some of your workings on the land. If you haven't done, some of you are already doing this work, but some of you are you're not necessarily new to spirituality and your practices, but a seed didn't necessarily drop into your mind to use some of your gifts and use your magic, use your praying hands and your healing hands, use your feet, you know, to call in, to raise in the energy. What messages do you have? Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. Wild. Help from above. Letting go. Wild. Help from above. Let's set this to the side and see what